So how good are Chicago's many speed cameras at identifying any violators? How about one every 12 seconds? That data coming to us from the Illinois Policy Institute.
Yeah, this morning we're welcoming back Adam Schuster. Adam, good to see you.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, always a pleasure. So I read your report. In just the first week after the mayor instituted that 6 to 10 mile over the limit edict, some 52,000 warning tickets were issued. Now, I did a little math. That is close to $2 million a week, and that is not including that steeper $100 fine for those going 10 miles over. If you protract that over an entire year, that's a lot of new revenue. And doesn't that beg the question that that's what this is really about, a money grab?
Absolutely. I mean, it's clear that both red light cameras and safety enforcement cameras, speed cameras in the city of Chicago are a vehicle for revenue. And in many cases, they're also a vehicle for corruption. When the city of Chicago has not had a balanced budget since 2003, when they have more pension debt than 44 U.S. states combined, what you get is a city that tries to nickel and dime its residents, exactly like we're seeing with these cameras.
Okay, but the mayor is arguing this is a safety issue, citing a 45% spike in traffic fatalities between 2019 and 2020. Is she wrong?
I think the mayor was citing a temporary condition that had to do with reduced traffic because of the pandemic that changed people's driving habits. As pandemic conditions ease, those conditions will change as well. But there's no clear benefit of these cameras. There's been studies done on both speed cameras and red light cameras, and it's not clear that they actually reduce traffic violations. But what they do is raise hundreds of millions of dollars for cities like Chicago.
All right, well, 35 bucks, let's be honest, it doesn't sound like a lot of money out of pocket, but apparently you say that if you get one of these or more of these, you might just get dinged in your insurance premiums, right?
That's absolutely right. These tickets have a few ways that they can drive up costs for drivers, including the fine itself, including driving up your insurance premiums. And again, when there's no clear connection to safety, and when the city of Chicago has other better options to manage its budget, like pension reform, it's really sad to see this kind of thing happening, especially when you consider that there have been economic hardship across the city of Chicago, not just in the government, but in the residents. People have lost jobs. About 35% of restaurants have already closed, 35% of small businesses, rather, close to 50% of restaurants. And that's, had a large impact on jobs growth and wage growth for the working poor. And these types of fines and fees tend to be very regressive, and they tend to hit people who have the least to give. So it's a very bad way to raise revenue, and without any clear safety impacts, it's really questionable why the city's doing this at all.
In fact, you guys have cited a report that even shows that the speed cameras can lead to even more collisions. Explain that.
Well, yes, if people change their behavior when they see the camera, in other words, they're slowing down or changing the speed of traffic quickly to try to avoid violations, there's a risk that you actually increase the number of accidents. And it's the same situation with red light cameras, where we found that while they do increase T-bone collisions because people are less likely to run a red light, they actually increase rear-end collisions and other types of collisions because people are slamming on their brakes to avoid getting the violation. So you have to consider all these types of things when you're implementing a policy like this, and you also have to consider the economic impacts it's going to have on city residents who are already being taxed out of their homes in many cases. We have the second highest property taxes in the nation, and the state of Illinois and Cook County have been losing population, and the number one reason people tell you why is because of these high taxes and fees. And so every time we hit people with another one, we just risk holding back our economic recovery from COVID-19, and we risk driving more people out of Illinois as they seek to avoid these fines and fees that they keep getting hit with.
Adam, we're out of time, but real quick, this is not just a Chicago-centric issue. This is pretty much happening in suburbs and cities throughout the state, right?
That's absolutely right. Red light cameras in particular, we've seen a proliferation outside the city of Chicago. About half of the growth in revenue over the last 10 years. We've collected $1 billion from red light cameras over the last 10 years. About half of that revenue growth came from new cameras being put up in the suburbs. We already have in Chicago among the most red light cameras of any major city.
Wow. Adam Schuster with the Illinois Policy Institute. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, appreciate your time.